Okay, so here's my season review for Grimm. I know this is kind of late. I mean, season 2 is less than a month away. But, I haven't really had the time to sit down and do this. To sit down and do one of these. So, alright, here it goes. So, for anyone who needs a basic plot summary of what this show is, the idea of Grimm is that fairy tales were based off of truth. That there have been these creatures that have lived among us for, like, ever. They've always been there, but no one's really been able to see them except for a select few. These select few are often called Grimms because of the Grimm family had written most of it down, were most prominent. And so it centers around this newly made Grimm, who is a police detective, and it kind of goes off the whole cop show sort of format. So, that out of the way. First off, the music in Grimm. They have not released a soundtrack yet for it, but from what you can hear, it's very, creepy and suspenseful, the background that they do, and it really adds to the show. You hear some of the music, and you are at the edge of your seat in these at these times. It fits the show very well. They also choose songs every now and again to add background, like Sweet Dreams in the first episode where she's running, and a couple of times when characters were getting, pumped, or the drug dealers are playing, and these are all very good. They fit very well into the show. They're wonderful choices. One of my favorite episodes was Danse Macabre, where they played that song throughout the episode, and it was done very well. It was offsetted for the episode, very well. The scene with the rats was done wonderfully. Now I'm going to go to the graphics. The graphics in this show are inconsistent, I'm going to say. And, usually with the Best in Faces is what I'm talking about here, specifically. If you were to take Monroe, he is a main character. He is in every episode. And if you were to look at Monroe's faces, not even, from episode to episode, from scene to scene, they differ slightly. And I don't know if this is because one scene it's more of a makeup, less CG, or the other something something like that, or if it's they're doing it on purpose. But you can really tell if you were to take a screen cap and put them next to each other. Some look more human, some look more wolfy, some just look bad, and so on. But yeah, it's weird. It's something that I notice because I'm obsessive like that, and it grabs my attention. On a whole, though, the face changes are done very well. They usually incorporate a good amount of the actor's facial structure into the makeup or the CG, and it's really nicely done most of the time. There have been a few instances where it's just god-awful. It's terrible. I will say my favorite Vestin transformation for this season is the lion guy, Leo. It was very well done. He had a very, his face fit the image very well, so it was easy for them to, go off of that. I like that one a lot. The one I absolutely hated. It was all kinds of horrible. Was Lucinda's from Happily Ever Aftermath. Oh my god. It didn't even look like they tried to base this around her face. Like, it looked like they were trying to make this as monstrous as they could to offset the princess vibe she was given throughout the episode. But it just looks like she's wearing a giant bat mask. That's what it looks like. It's horrible. They don't even use, like, her hair color. And I don't know if that's, like, because they're saying, oh, well, she's not natural blonde. But still, it's not... It's just bad. I don't like it at all. And it's not just the way that these creatures look, because you saw the other guy from the episode transform, and it looks better on him than it did her. And it was just terrible. Just terrible. Yeah. But yeah, so. Overall, the Vesson Woj change things, they're done very well. But sometimes, you know, not so much. Props. I love the props in this series. They do such a good job at making these look, you know, old and worn and, you know, believable almost. Like the things that Nick has to use from time to time, they're very well done. You know, the coins, the potions and all that stuff, it's very well done. Oh my god, I can't believe they had a giant replica at Comic-Con this year of Aunt Marie's trailer. That is just amazing. I love looking in that. The scenes they have in the trailer is just wonderful. Which again, the set designers on this, oh man, they're just amazing. Aunt Marie's trailer, the Mellifer Hive, the oh my god, the Bluebeard's basement, Holly's treehouse. All of these things are done very well. They look, you know, legit. Like, if this were something, this would be what it looked like. If this were real life, you know. It's done very well. I love the backgrounds on the show. So we're gonna start with some of the characters here. Nick, the main character of the show. I gotta say, for Nick, first, I want to say 10 episodes, I was not impressed with Nick. He was very blah to me. You know, I did not find anything about him I particularly enjoyed. I always give a show at least 10 episodes to drag me in. And with this show, it had the whole cop format, fairy tale thing. It had a very interesting concept. And it had a couple characters by this point in time that I liked. But Nick, I didn't really care about. I want to say it was mostly because he himself wasn't very invested in the whole Vesson thing. But Vesson Grimm thing. But I think I want to say by episode 10, which I'm pretty sure was Of Mice and Men, I want to say that. I think that's when it just kind of clicked for him that this is real. You know, he can't just, you know, see these things and think, well, this is just something I'm going to have to deal with. He realizes this is his second job and he's got to, you know, step it up. And he does. And he becomes, like, way more badass in this other half. And it's very nicely done, and, you know, I'm starting to like him more now. I'm starting to enjoy him, which is really impressive for this show, for me as a person. I don't generally like the main character. Honestly, I don't. On a whole, I do not like the main character. And I like Buffy, and I like Angel, and I don't like Emma that much. I don't like, Annie from Avatar. You know, name a show I probably don't like the main character. They always tend to annoy me, and I'm usually there for the supporting cast or the minor characters. And that's that, you know. I just kind of tolerate the main characters, but I'm starting to like Nick a little more than I had originally had. Monroe, on the other hand, I've loved him since the first episode. He's just a wonderful character. Juliet, I think, summarized all the fangirls' feelings in one sentence. He is one of the strangest men I've ever met, but I kind of love him. Honestly, though, he's not one of the strangest characters I've ever seen. But, on that note, he has a very, interesting, you know, a concept that he was, you know, a Vessin, and now he's trying to change for the better. And this is definitely different from the Buffy Angel concept. Not only in the fact that they're both the same gender and they are not into each other that way. They just have a bromance. That is all. You freaking fangirls get on me. Which I do enjoy. I love their banter. This was a choice Monroe had made. Unlike other characters where they have this is like not a choice that they made, they were forced into it, much like Angel. Monroe chose this life. He chose to stop being the big bad wolf kind of thing, which I really want to see what it was that was his turning point that made him decide, I can't live like this anymore, you know? I want to know what that was. That's a very burning question for me. Yeah. And I also want to see next season more scenes with Monroe blue-botting it out. Come on! I was really hoping in the Fight Club episode that he'd get some action in there. We only have seen him really once fighting. And that was in episode 2 for, you know, only a short while. I do want to see more of that as well. So, you know. But on a whole, I love Monroe. He's so quirky and eccentric and, you know, but it's in a more subdued way. And, you know, I would hang out with him. I'd hang out with Monroe. So, let's see now. I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna go on to part 2. I'm gonna continue with some more of the main characters.